Hi, boys and girls. Pastor Dale here. I so miss seeing you each Lord's Day at church, but visiting this way is a lot of fun. Today I'm here at Mrs. Barton's house on kind of a blustery day, where we're going to meet one of her special friends. Can you guess who it might be? I think they're out back. Let's go find them.
Hello.
Hi, Mrs. Barton.
Hi.
Thank you for letting us visit today.
My pleasure.
We're looking forward to meeting your friend.
Yeah, Shania. She's out in the pasture. Would you like to see her come in?
We would.
Shania!
There's Shania out in the
Hey,
pasture.
come on in. Come.
Oh, here she comes.
Who's that stranger there?
Who are those guys?
Come on.
Oh, here she comes.
Here she comes.
Hello, Shania.
She's not quite sure about you.
I get that a lot. Well, Mrs. Barton, tell us about your friend here.
Well, this is Shania, and I've had Shania for 16 years. She's going to be 30 years old next month. She's a purebred Arabian. I don't know, what else do you want to know?
When did you become interested in horses?
Well, I've always loved horses. I think it first happened when I went to my friend Jeannie's house when I was 6 years old, and she had plastic Breyer horses, and I'd never seen anything so beautiful in my life. And I kind of fell for them then. And then when I was 8 or 9, we lived in an area where an old German colonel gave free riding lessons to kids that lived in the fire district. So all summer long, Monday through Friday, you could go out and get a riding lesson. So I did that for a few years. And then when I was 14, my parents leased me a horse, and the rest is history.
I imagine there is a lot to learn about riding a horse, but also keeping a horse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot. Some interesting things about horses is their teeth grow their whole lives. So they have to have their teeth filed every year. So they have a dentist just like we do. And their feet grow. So you have to trim their feet every 8 weeks or so. They don't do well on food that's really rich, like this grass. If I let this horse out all day to graze on this thick grass, she would probably develop a condition called founder, which makes their feet swell up and hurt and curl up, and it's very serious. So they need to be groomed and brushed and attention paid to them.
Is green grass her favorite thing to eat, or what?
Yes, of course.
She seems like a very sweet horse. Is she a
She's
sweet-mannered
very sweet.
horse?
She's very sweet. As you saw, she's got a lot of energy. She's very high-spirited, but she's very gentle once you catch her. One thing that's wonderful about horses is they really want to please, and they really try to do what you ask them to do, and if they aren't, it's usually because they don't understand what you want. And they're really careful with children. Like, I can put a small child on her, and she's very, very careful.
Now, you told me that you've learned a lot from horses. Could you share one of the things that you've learned?
Sure. I've learned a lot from horses. One of the things I've learned a lot about is fear. Horses are naturally fearful animals, so you have to reassure them. And once they trust you, then they'll do anything you ask. You have to be careful. Like most people who've been around horses, you learn you should never run up behind a horse because he might get scared and kick you. Not because he's mean, but because he's scared, and if he can't run away, he'll kick. And they'll spook sometimes. But if they trust you, then things go really well. So if your horse really trusts you and you're the rider, he'll do things that he would normally be scared to do. And if he does get scared, he'll calm right back down again when he understands that you're leading him. And I thought a lot about how God is that way with us, how he wants us to trust him. And when we're fearful and we don't trust him, we can make big mistakes and things don't go so well. One time I was out on the trail with my horse, and we were trotting along, and a big dog came out from around the bend barking, and it scared her half to death. And she was so scared, she spun around, it was kind of muddy, and she slipped and fell with me on top.
Wow.
Well, no, she was on top, I was on the bottom. So that's an example of what can happen when you act fearfully. And God protected me, I was fine, the horse was fine. But it just reminds me that if I trust the Lord and I obey the Lord, things are going to go a lot better for me. And the best trained horses are so obedient and so good, you can't even tell that they have a rider. It's almost like they're dancing. So I think that's a neat analogy for our relationship with God.
Boy, and that's a really good reminder for us in times like these when there are things that can make us fearful.
Yeah.
We don't know the future and what all is going to happen.
Right.
Maybe we get very concerned about that. Maybe we even grow scared. So it's a good reminder to us to always trust the Lord and know that he's going to protect us. He's going to take care of us.
Right. And my horse doesn't understand anything about what's happening to her. All she needs is to trust me, and I'll keep her safe. It's the same thing with us. We don't have to understand what is happening. We just trust God, and we know he's going to take care of us.
Well, thank you so much for showing us Shania today. That's Shania. Is that how you spell Shania?
Yeah, that's how you spell it.
That's
Shania.
a pretty name for a pretty horse.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again.